Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. And for the Grue Rume Show today, I'm very, very excited, very happy to have one of the best female wrestlers of all time. She is a legend. She is an icon. Her name is Saraya, and she went in WWE as Paige, and she has a movie out about her life, a book out. We're going to talk about the book, and I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be a fun one that I've been really looking forward to, being a wrestling fan and a Paige fan. So I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters, as you can tell, and I am the host of the Grue Rume Show. And my interview with Saraya will be coming up very soon. Thanks to Meech for getting me this interview. But stay tuned because it's going to be a good one. Well, all right.
Sorry?
Welcome. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry. My camera looks really weird right now, and I don't know where it is. Okay. Okay, sorry. But anyway, sorry. Continue. You're good.
It's all good. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for coming on. I'm really looking forward to this. Been a huge fan for years.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we've been doing so is your show more wrestling based or what's the deal?
It's like a mix of wrestling and horror.
And horror, that was it. Yeah. That was it. That was it. I've been doing a lot more stuff within like the horror community because I've been so welcomed in there, and people don't realize how much I love horror movies and stuff like that, and
I
obviously
heard
like I
about
like to be
that.
spooky as well. But yeah, so I'm like happy that I get to do like more stuff with people like you. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess the first question I want to ask about the book, like, I mean, the book goes very, very deep and
Yeah.
about you growing up wrestling at such a very young age. There was a time when your mom went missing, like you had ups, you had downs,
Mm-hmm.
and what was it like for you to actually go back and like think of all those things again and write it down to make a book?
Yeah. So it was one of the most intense it was one of the most intense experiences of my life, and it was a hard experience, and it was like trying to remember stuff after you've done a lot of damage to your body too is very difficult. So like yeah, it was tedious, it was exhausting, it was just a lot. It was a lot of work. It was definitely a lot of work, and it took over 2 years to do,
Wow.
and it was. I had a ghostwriter. She was amazing, but it didn't feel like me. And so I rewrote the whole thing afterwards, I was like, no, this just doesn't, it just wasn't good enough. And so I rewrote the whole thing. And then the cover, they had chose a cover, and I was like, this isn't good enough. So I came up with the idea, the concept of the cover that I have right now. I was just like,
Hmm.
I just know that I was putting my whole heart and soul into this book, and if I was going to put it out, it has to be perfect. And so
Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
it was a long bloody journey though, and I am so happy that I got it done. I'm so proud of myself. And like, oh my gosh, like it was just, I always tell people if you're writing a book, get ready because it's a lot of bloody work. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And everyone knows you made a film too, and the film was about you and your life and growing up in in the sport. And
Yeah.
what inspired you to write a book?
Yeah. So, I do get asked this. Sorry, I have allergies. So like the allergies
Same,
are starting to, I do
especially when
get,
it gets warm.
yeah, like now I'm just like very congested, but
Yeah.
and I feel like with age it gets worse, which is
Yeah,
driving me crazy. But like,
definitely.
oh my gosh, as soon as I'm like gonna be 33 years this year, my body's like, we're gonna make you feel like death all the time. But yeah, so I get asked this question a lot, like, why did I decide to do it? And there's so many different like factors that go into it, if I'm being
Hmm.
honest. Like, like I've always wanted to write a book. I've always wanted to, because everyone knows, like, well, everyone doesn't know. Everyone thinks they know my story, and everyone thinks, like I know I'm quite the controversial figure within the wrestling world, and everyone just has an opinion of me and what they think
Hmm.
went on behind the scenes, and all that kind of stuff. And then yeah, there's like the movie, but that's just like a certain section of my life, from like the tryout until when I won the Divas Championship. So it's such a small few years, right? and I wanted to do it from like scratch, like from when I was really young, like until like up until they win the AEW Women's Championship. And I just
Yeah.
like I wanted to be able to tell my story from my voice, my own words, from my memories, you know? Like I wanted to do that. I wanted to take control of my life a little bit. And then I wanted people to understand like why I am the way that I am too. And then so on top of that, like, you know, so me and WWE had parted ways, and I had like that month where I wasn't doing anything, you know, and I was like,
Mhm.
what am I going to do now? Even though WWE eventually called me again, and then AEW was calling me, like, I was like, what the heck am I going to do, you know? And I was so consumed by wrestling all the time that I was like, what do I do in my life? And then my manager brought up the idea of like doing the book finally, because it's something I've just wanted to do for so long. And so, yeah, so I started it. I just started back then. And then, you know, it was just a long road, let me tell you. But I'm very happy and grateful I did it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And being a horror fan, I'm a huge fan of Charmed, and I know Paige came from Charmed. So, do
Yeah.
you prefer the Paige era or the Prue era? I'm guessing the Paige era, right?
Well, no, I love both eras, honestly. It's just like I resonated with Paige because she's pale with a butt chin, just like me, you know. But so I love Charmed. Like and you know, when Prue did leave, I felt like they did a
Mhm.
really good job of recasting and making the show still feel great. So yeah, like I love Charmed. I love it. I can't like I just resonated with her just because of we our chins, that's all.
Oh, of course. So, which charm power do you think you would want out of all of them, the four of them?
Well, I mean, Piper's powers like evolved a lot,
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And so like I would love Piper's, but also like, you know, Paige was able to like just what's it called? Like the
The
travel
orb.
orb. Yeah. She could do that. So if I wanted to be somewhere, I can just do that and be there in like 2 seconds. Like so I'd like that. I would like a mix of all. I thought that Phoebe's wasn't as great in
Nah.
my opinion. I'm like, oh, you just have
Mhm.
visions and stuff. I'm like, I need more. I
I
need
know
more
that.
than that. Yeah. Yeah.
And you say you're a big horror fan too, just like me. So I wanted to ask you, like, what are some horror films that you really love to watch?
Yeah. So okay, I always make a suggestion for people like to, and it's the most messed up horror movie. Like I'm telling you, it's so intense and so scary. Yeah, oh, thanks, babe. Sorry, this smells so bad in there right now. Appreciate it. Thank you, babe. Sorry, she bought me tea.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I would there is a movie called the oh my god, I had a brain fart. The oh my god, I had a brain fart. I can't think right now. Hang on. I made this suggestion. It's not no. Oh my god, I'm it's gonna drive me insane now. There's a movie in like the late 70s, early 80s horror movie, and
Hmm.
it's like the house gets taken over by like this poltergeist, and it gets really freaking intense. Like, never mind. I'm not gonna be able to remember it. It's
Yeah,
driving me
yeah.
insane. I make the suggestion all the time, and now I can't even think. I think I've just been put on the spot. But I like the Sixth Sense just because it
Definitely.
like it has its spooky moments, of course, but like it's just like twist and everything's really good. Um, let's see. You know when people ask what your favorite is, and you're like, what do I watch?
Oh
And
yeah,
now
of
I can't
course,
can't
of
think of
course.
anything else. Um,
I mean, you have all the classics too, like Chucky, Freddy, Michael,
yeah,
Jason.
I like all those, yeah, but I'm still trying to think of the other movie, and it's driving me insane. Oh my God. Anyway, I love horror movies. I do love them. I love watching
Hmm.
them. I love everything about them. They're amazing, but I'm not gonna be able to think of it now because of just I can't think, I guess, when I'm put on the spot. Sorry.
It's all good. And what about like if you were there's so many horror franchises, and if
Yeah.
you could be put in any one of them and be the final girl that gets to beat the villain, which one you think you would do?
Um, I mean, I would love to be in Scream. I would love to be in
Yes.
there. Like it's just that's probably one of the basic ones. I would love to do. I would actually love to be in Chucky. I feel like that would be super fun. But I don't know if they do the TV show anymore. Did it
No,
get?
no, no, it's stopped now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, any kind of horror movie, like sign me up. I just met Art the clown
Yeah.
recently. Yeah.
Yes.
So Terrifier. I would love to do something in Terrifier, maybe. Like, I would like to
Terrifier
be in
4 is
any.
coming out.
Yeah, I would love to do something. I would love to be in a horror movie, even if I just get murdered in the first scene. Like, I would love to be in a horror movie. That would be so fun.
Nice. And when you were writing the book, was there ever a time when you were writing it where you had to pause and say, all right, this is too much for me to write now. I have to
Yeah.
take a step back.
Yeah. So, there's a chapter like right near the beginning. I believe it's chapter 4, maybe like Fade to Black, I think. And it's just, I was very, young, and I went through that childhood trauma with that guy. And it's something that I never spoke about. I never spoke about it. I spoke about it with my brother just a couple of years before writing this book. And it was like, I just always kind of like ignored it and like shoved down the memories of that. And like, I never talked about it with anyone. I never talked about anything with anybody because I'm a closed book usually. I
Okay.
like, ironically, because I wrote a book, but yeah, I was like, with this book, I was like, I mean, if I am going to open up, I'm going to do it in a book, you know what I mean? But,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, oh my gosh, sorry, I'm having such a brain fart today. Yeah, so the chapter, like, yeah, just doing that chapter, it was just very intense, and like remembering all those horrific things, it was hard. And then I had to do the audio for it too, and I could not get through it reading it. I just like it took me a long time, and I was crying, and I just like it was so hard for me to get through. But eventually I did, and I'm so proud of myself for doing it. But yeah, that was definitely an intense chapter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And how did it feel like, after you had the news, like your your neck was broke and you weren't going to wrestle, and then you got to come back and you got to wrestle, and you fast forward a couple years, you're in AEW and you win the world belt, and you won it home too. And
Yeah.
how did it feel to actually like beat all those odds, come back from the neck, and actually be a world champion?
Yeah. Again, I never thought I would wrestle again. I never thought I would hold a championship again. I thought that part of my life was gone forever. And so, like, to be able to come back and wrestle in my home country, in one of the most famous stadiums in the world, in
Yeah.
front of my family, in front of my home country, it was just like, it was very emotional. When Tony told me, like we were planning the match or whatever the night before, and like he came in like at night last minute because he was at his Fulham game because he owns Fulham Football
Mhm.
Club too. He came and then we're all by the ring, and then he was like, "Okay, like you'll finish Rhea 1, 2, 3," and I'm like, "What?" And I just like start crying because I'm just like, I never thought I would get that opportunity again, and I'm just so incredibly grateful. I was so grateful. I was emotional. I didn't hold the belt for very long, but like I I was just very grateful for that moment.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I was definitely cheering too. Like I was like,
Thank
I really hope that she wins the title. And when you won the title, I
thank
start
you.
screaming.
Thank you. Am I okay
And
to keep drinking my tea?
yeah, no, go ahead, go
Okay.
ahead. What kind of tea is it?
British tea. It's Yorkshire tea. So I just taught my assistant how to make it. And so like now whenever she comes, she'll make me one. It's delicious. She does a really good job. But yeah, like British tea, Yorkshire tea, like it has to be hot. Iced tea
Okay.
is blasphemous. Let me tell you. You tell a British person you want an iced tea, would be like,
Oh no, really?
I took my friend actually, like when we went to England for Wembley, I took a bunch of my friends with me, and they came to Norwich, where I'm from. We took a train to Norwich,
Hmm.
and there's like a little like a coffee shop, and my friend was just like, "Can I get an iced tea?" And they looked at her like she had like 4 eyes, dude. They were just like, "What?" Like, We don't do that here. It was so funny. I was like, oh, Raquel.
Oh no. Uh, I know you're a big Cher fan, so is there a Cher song and Cher film that you like the most?
Oh my gosh. Yes. So, okay, I don't have, oh my gosh, the chef film. Okay, anytime I think like of movies, like I end up having a brain fart. So she was amazing in Burlesque, but she did, I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember the movie with Christina Ricci and Winona Ryder. Do you remember that movie?
Hmm. I
Oh my, I might have to Google it. Hang on one second. I'm trying to remember the hang on.
I know the horror movie she did, the one where she's a witch,
Yeah,
the witches of Eastwick. That
that
was
was
really good.
great. That was
Yeah.
great. Mermaid. She was in Mermaids.
Oh
That was
yeah, that's right.
yeah.
She made a song for that too.
Yeah, yeah. So I love her so, so much. And I'm obsessed with her actually. And like obviously I did that shoot where like I got her black attire made. Like I got it like made for me. And I mean, I still have it. I love it so much. I just think that she's a goddess. I think she's so powerful. Like she's, and
Mhm.
you know, as a single woman, she inspires me because, you know, she even at her age that she's now, which she looks fantastic. I
Oh,
mean,
I
like
know.
the work she's had done looks great. So when I get to her age and I'm like, I do that, you know, I'm like, give me the script of how you did this because I'm taking it into the doctor. But yeah, so her being like just this single powerful woman that doesn't need a man. I mean, her quotes being like, I am the rich man. And I am like, she doesn't need a man, you know, no offense.
Exactly.
No offense. Yeah, I know you're a man, but like I'm just so empowered by her. I just like yeah, I'm kind of taking a leaf out of her book kind of thing where I'm like, or a page out of her book. I'm like, yes.
A page out of her book. Okay.
Page.
And what did you love most about writing the book and getting everything out there? I'm sure you were like a little nervous too because like there's some things about the book that are very personal.
Yeah. So oh, what did I enjoy about the book? Listen, it's a very tedious journey. Let me see. I mean, I loved being able to put my memories down, you know, on a piece of paper. I love to be able to do that and actually get to tell my story my way. And that's like
Mhm.
that's the most important part of it. Like I get to take control of my life a little bit and like, you know, like, and that's the most empowering part. So yeah, I would say that it's just like kind of taking control of my life again and like telling my story. I don't know. There's not a favorite part of it because a lot of it is like, again, it's very tedious. It's exhausting,
Yeah.
mentally exhausting, you know, but I'm just so grateful. And like, maybe this is my favorite part because I got such a good reaction to it. And like, it's really nice for people to be able to read it and actually enjoy it. So I'm glad that this is probably my favorite part, like reaping the benefits.
And you know now that you're not signed to any wrestling place, the fans have been. I know you're reading the comments. Like all the wrestling fans want to see Paige and Rhea. Like,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
is that like something that you want to do, or do you want to wait a while before you jump back in the ring?
Yeah, so I do want to take, you know, 2025 as a time to find myself a little bit and
Hmm.
like kind of get my feet wet outside of wrestling, you know. And it's something like I definitely want to do. You know, people are, yeah, I didn't realize as many people would want to see me back in WWE. I I am very insecure with like the way I feel like people think about me, you know. I get in my head a little bit. And so the fact that I mean, it's just insane how many people are talking about me going back to WWE. And I just want people like just to don't get your hopes up. I'm just like, at least this year, you know, like I kind of want to take 2025 to do acting and all that kind of fun stuff.
Hmm.
But one day I would love to. I mean, Rhea's amazing. She's a powerhouse. Everybody there, like all the women's you know, roster there right now is stacked. So
Oh, I know.
yeah, it's incredible. And they're doing really wonderful things. I don't know if there is even a place for me there right now, but but yeah. I know, I get that a lot. I've got that in other interviews too. Everyone's very like, go
Yeah.
home.
What would be your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so in the book, I tell people that I did karaoke and it was drunk karaoke. I will not sing if I'm sober. So I haven't like been to a karaoke joint in over 6 years because I'm terrified of singing. Terrified. I'm terrified. Yeah, it's like a big phobia of mine. But my drunk karaoke songs were I would sing Amy Winehouse, Valerie, I would sing that, and I would sing Kings of Leon, You Somebody. Those are the two that I would sing all the time. But I guess
Okay.
now, like, I mean, I would have to switch it up a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what my newer ones would be.
All right. Okay. Okay. I don't know how, like, are we good on time? Like, I'm
Rhea?
trying.
Shoot.
I don't want to go over your time or anything. I don't
Um,
know if I could
Oh
ask
yeah,
another question.
so the next interview actually needs to be rescheduled. They had a family emergency, so we're just
oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. But I do have another one at 11, but I do need a little break in between those.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will ask like one more question, then I'll let.
Okay, no problem.
And the question basically is, I know you're a huge fan of Friends, and why do you think Friends is such an amazing show?
Oh my gosh, I love Friends so much. It's actually like a problem because I will have it on all day, every day. Anyone that comes to my house knows that Friends is on the TV, even if we're like, not watching it. I just like to have it in the background. And like I feel like it's a comfort thing for me. I was watching this since I was a kid, and it has like that nostalgic feeling. And I don't know, like I love it. And people like will, you know, they'll shit on it sometimes because they don't think it was like progressive, but I think it was like it had a lesbian wedding, which was amazing.
Hmm.
It had a trans character, which was Chandler's dad, which is amazing. Like, yeah, the cast could have been a little tiny bit more diverse, I guess, but like they like included everybody, and they had like such a great, like, it's great. I love Friends, and anyone that talks shit about it, I get mad because I just love it so much. I do. Will never ever get bored of it. I will watch it from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. I just love it. And I don't know. I think it might be the comfort in it, because with all the things
Yeah.
that happened in my life, what had, me, it was with Friends, and that would always make me happy.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
And you have a podcast now too that you just started, and
Yeah.
just for everyone, like the name of your podcast and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's Rule Breakers with Saraya, and we launch a podcast every Thursday. Every Thursday at like midnight, it will come out. And we do the video side of things too. And it's a really fun podcast. And like we're starting to get crazier and crazier with the segments that we do. So obviously we do interview style, and then halfway through um we'll start doing like we'll torture, I guess, pretty much. We'll like put them in the hot seat and be like, they either get like dog shot collars, or they get waxed, or they get tattooed, or like they have to go through something, but it's really, really fun. Or even like something simple like text roulette, where we pick like three people out of your phone and you have to text them
Hmm.
exactly what we tell you, and it's really, really funny. And I've had a great time doing it, and like it is hard, like to do this. It's a lot
Yeah,
more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, it was like I love the yeah, I love it. I love the challenge of it as well.
nice. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for this.
Yeah.
Definitely everyone go buy your book. Your book is out now. Your podcast is out. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for doing this. And I
Yeah.
think you're coming to Cherry Hill in a couple of months for the HorrorCon. So I'll
Yeah.
definitely be seeing you there.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Bye.
you. Have a good one.
You too.